A humanitarian crisis is still unfolding at this hour in Gaza. 5 new deaths due to malnutrition in just the last 24 hours, according to the Hamas-run health ministry there. The IDF saying it has allowed 6 countries to conduct airdrops into Gaza today, with 120 aid packages delivered that way over the last few hours, again, according to Israel. We want to bring in Dr. James Smith, an emergency physician who's been on the ground in Gaza before during this conflict. He's in touch with colleagues there now. Dr. Smith, welcome in. He joins us from London. Thank you for your time, as always. And you have said before that food aid alone is not the only remedy for starvation of this size and scale. What do you mean by that?
Thanks for having me, Jay. What I mean by that is that there are no humanitarian solutions to what manifest as humanitarian problems. Of course, we need food aid to stave off this deep starvation crisis. But what we really need are political solutions. Starvation is something that is always enacted by one individual or a group of people against another. Food aid will remedy hunger, but you have to ultimately go after those who are starving with the intention of killing them. And that's really the missing element here. We can continue with food aid drops for as long as you like, but that really doesn't ultimately significantly change material conditions on the ground in Gaza.
So UNICEF has reported that an average of 28 children are killed each day in Gaza. How is the war impacting the most vulnerable there? Not just the kinetic actions of the war, but as you say, the starvation and the humanitarian crisis there.
Well, the kinetic action, as you call it, the direct military violence is indiscriminate. I mean, the number of children killed and injured as a result of Israeli military violence in Gaza defies comprehension. We are talking about tens of thousands. Absolutely everyone in Gaza is vulnerable and at risk of death, either by Israeli gunfire or the consequences of manufactured scarcity. Certainly when it comes to the deprivation of food and water, which is what we've seen now for 22 months, children are particularly vulnerable physiologically, and this is why they constitute almost 60% of those who have died from malnutrition-related causes thus far. The elderly as well, and of course people with pre-existing medical issues, those that are trying to recover following complex surgical operations, of which again there are tens of thousands given the intensity and duration of ongoing violence.
You mentioned the elderly being at risk, second to children there. We have something to get your reaction to. ABC News producer Dia Ostaz interviewed a 75-year-old man in the town of Khan Yunis. He is suffering from the effects of severe malnutrition and hunger. I want to play for you a little bit of what he told our producer there. Get your reaction on the back end. Here's that.
البني ادم ما اكلش وشرب ايش اللي بدك حبته كاش بده يصير بدك هذا ابو فلفل شو بده يصير؟ في لحم نروح نشتري حتى لو في لحم فيش فلوس في فلوس وفيش لحم وش الفائده؟ يعني التنتين مش مطبقات الاوعى ما فيش معك فلوس لكن ما فيش طب معكش فلوس وموجود الشغله وكيف بدك تعيش؟ لا هيك قادر تعيش ولا هيك قادر تعيش ما فيش.
So the elderly, as you say, they are among the most vulnerable in addition to children. I guess my question to you becomes, what kind of aid is needed for those individuals? Because to your point, even if you were to drop off food tomorrow, that man makes the point of it's difficult to just even ingest that level of food if you are as malnutritioned as he is. So how do you even reverse course here?
I mean, Jay, how can we listen to the testimony from this man and not be completely enraged and sickened by what's being done to 2.1 million Palestinians in Gaza? Of course, you need specialized nutritional supplements. You need a healthcare system that can provide complex medical care. Israel has systematically targeted and destroyed the Palestinian healthcare system such that the kind of critical care capacity that you need to provide complex medical interventions for people that have been starved and are now profoundly malnourished are no longer really available in Gaza. The most important and effective intervention is an end to Israel's violence in Gaza. That is what's needed now. It's what's been needed every day since October of 2023.